go.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Masters Fantasy Show, brought to you by MastersFantasyFootballLeagues.com. My name's Jonathan, a commissioner here at Masters Fantasy Leagues. Joining me today, as always, Dynasty Owl, the Doc. We are the Masters crew. What's up, guys? How you doing today?
Doing great.
Doing excellent.
Yeah, I had to pry these guys out of the lab this week. Final week of Dynasty trading. So I promise you, these guys are locked in, making moves, bringing guys in, getting rid of guys. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about Dynasty sells, final week of trading, some guys that you're shipping out. Kick it over to you guys, whichever you want to go first. Oh, wait, right before we do, we got one big announcement. I'm going to kick it over to Dynasty Owl. Go ahead and tell the guys at home what it's all about.
Sure. So the commission will add anything if I forget it. But, one of the special things about working for, a fantasy football company is, we got the opportunity for some incentives, like giving away a free contest, free playoff league maybe. And that's exactly what we're doing. So I think next week, one of our shows, we're going to do a little trivia game, mid-show. Not sure which one. We're going to drop a little trivia question. And first person who answers it, and one of you subscribers, you leave it in the comments, right answer, you get a free 10 playoff league, which I think is pretty cool and exciting. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah.
Yep, good stuff, Dynasty. I appreciate the assist there. And that's right, we're going to do a 10 email league or 10 live draft. Playoff leagues are coming here in a couple weeks. These things run all the way from wild card weekend to the Super Bowl. Definitely some of the best leagues we do. But let's start this show off with some Dynasty sells. Kick it over to you guys, whichever you want to go first. Floor is all yours.
I'll take this one, and I had one, but I actually kind of want to make it two. But it's two running backs. You know what? I'll just make it two. I'll say Josh Jacobs and Miles Sanders. Both these guys came into the league together. I liked them as talents coming out, and I still kind of do like them as talents, but it's clear that just something, I don't know, something just is not right in their situations, and something just isn't right from a production standpoint with either of those guys. Jacobs has done a little more than Sanders has, but it's still nothing crazy, and they've both had their struggles with injuries over their careers thus far. I think realistically, these guys are more a headache than anything. They're not going to help you win anything the rest of the way. But I do think they still have some value as they are 24, 5-year-old running backs with a lot of potential. So I feel like you could probably sell both of these guys for something. I don't know that it's a lot, but I think now's probably the time you're going to want to sell these guys, because it just seems to me that they're both trending in the wrong direction. I personally want really no part of these guys in any of the leagues I have them in Dynasty, and I'm going to try and ship them out this week.
Dynasty Al, you agree on both?
I do agree. I like Miles Sanders more.
Right.
So
I do too.
I think I've got Miles in one league that I'm holding on to. Josh Jacobs, I had in one league left right before the season. I was pretty pumped about it now. I traded him straight up for Javonte Williams, like right before week one. Like that a lot at this point. Yeah. So yeah, I'm kind of out on Josh Jacobs, which I think all off season I was kind of saying I'm out on Josh Jacobs. So yeah, definitely selling for me. Miles Sanders, I really like Miles Sanders the player. I don't love Miles Sanders the situation, especially when Jalen Hurts taken away 3 rushing touchdowns this past Sunday, because he had 90 some yards. So, I mean, if he could have just punched one in, I mean, he would have been a 15-point day, which would have been nice bounce.
They're still giving work to Boston Scott and Jordan Howard. I know it is his first game back, so maybe that doesn't continue, but
90 yards and a touchdown would have been a nice day Sunday, but those touchdowns are just getting eaten up by Jalen Hurts. So yeah, I'm selling both, but Miles Sanders a little more optimistic.
I agree.
Yeah, just want
to. I think I'll sell him because I'm impatient and I don't want to wait for him to end up in a new spot.
Yeah, and I see Jordan Howard with a knee injury this past weekend. Not sure, the extent how bad it was. I think if you didn't see on the other show, go check it out. Miles Sanders' schedule ahead is really nice for this final stretch. Out of the two, I think I'd rather have Miles, especially if Howard's not going to be there, because he's looked really good too. I mean, in this short couple weeks, I think it's a great take, and I think it's kind of a case where it's almost like you're running out of time to sell these guys based on their college production and their draft stock. Like it's still close enough to where they carry some, but I mean, it's going to start declining soon.
They're still young. There's still potential that they live up to expectations. But for me, I mean, if you haven't really kicked me in the tooth with production at this point, I'm out. So yeah,
and then
moving on.
I'll just toss out one of mine real quick, make it simple. For me, this is a sell, whether you're on a contender or a rebuilding team. I don't care if you just drafted this team yesterday, or if you're in the middle of your draft currently and just accidentally selected this guy. And that's going to be Cordarrelle Patterson. Look, man, I know it's been a great story. He's helped a lot of fantasy teams out. And I'm not even completely ruling out the fact that he might be able to help some of you guys down the stretch here. But any bit of value that you can, get out of Cordarrelle Patterson to invest in the future of your dynasty team, I think you should do it. I don't care if it's 2/3, a late second and a third, maybe some chewing gum and a late third. I just think in the future, you'll be extremely happy that you did it. Great story. It's striking midnight on Cordarrelle Patterson. And like I said, even if he helps you for a few more games this season, I can't see anything past that. So I'm taking whatever I can get, and I'm taking what I've already got, and I'm hitting the door.
Love it. Want to know why I can't sell Cordarrelle Patterson?
Why?
Because I never bought him,
Yeah.
No, I mean, he was just a guy I didn't end up with on waiver wires. He was on fire for a while, but yeah, I think the time.
Wait a minute. So you were too cheap to toss out 2 blind bidding bucks?
Pretty much.
Because that's all he was a couple blind bidding dollars.
Yeah. The blind bidding dollars isn't really like in your ESPN type leagues. Like Ryan knows I was giving people the advice like, don't waste your weight. Like, oh, I'm number one.
We both were.
And I was like, don't waste it on Cordarrelle Patterson. And then we were eating crow for a few weeks, but now we're starting to look all right.
Yeah, but I mean, week after week after week, and some elite weeks he was having too. So I'm just saying, man, if you could get anything out of him, I'd hurry up and do it now. In the off season, he's going to be looking like a empty bench spot that you need to replace.
Yeah.
Right. Honestly, what it kind of reminds me of is like Ty Montgomery. It's a guy that's like a okay receiver, good in special teams, but like had a little bit of success at running back. I mean, realistically, should the Falcons keep him? I mean, yeah, he's better than Mike Davis, but I don't think they will. I think they're going to see him like a guy that's been a receiver for however many years and has never really caught on as much more than like a gadget type of player that can do a lot of different things.
Right. And I look for Atlanta to be in the market for one of these backup running backs for next season. I don't think they can go into next season with that same backfield. I can't see it. So
they tried with Mike Davis. Now I think they'll probably try for somebody else.
All right, then kick it over to you. Dynasty Owl, take us home, my man.
All right, so I'll take us home quick here. My guy's Amari Cooper. So the COVID news, which is going to force him to miss 2 games, really kind of hurt this because it's just harder to sell knowing he just missed a game, missing another game. But really, it was after that Atlanta game where I'm just like, you know what, I'm out on Amari. I had high hopes for him this year, but in that Atlanta game, they put up 43 points, and he was 4th in that team on targets. CeeDee Lamb had like 7, Tony Pollard had 7, Michael Gallup had like 5, and he had 4. He's had way too many 5-point fantasy games for me this season. Him missing a couple of games here doesn't help either. And that contract situation, it's weird. He signed that big extension, like $20 million a year, but a lot of those years are like fully voidable. So, everything with Michael Gallup, I wonder, do they cut out from Amari, extend Gallup, or even if they keep Amari, he's really not doing anything great there, even with all the pass attempts that Dak's had. So I don't know. I'm just kind of out on Amari at this point. But I think you can still sell him for a decent price because of that namesake he has. So,
yeah, I agree with the take. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised either if Amari Cooper's presence kind of, got a little less important, we'll say, during his absence. Gallup's back. Cedric Wilson, I feel like, has had a good season. Pollard getting used more in the passing game. I all these things, all just reasons that I agree with Al here on his take on Cooper. I just don't really see him. I don't know. He doesn't really play consistent enough for me to be like, I can't get rid of him. There's just too many, like Alex said, too many weeks where he just duds. And now the injuries, the COVID. I wouldn't be shocked if he was off this team by the end of the year. And for that reason, I like to take Al.
Yeah, I like it. And I think I was one of the guys that fought tooth and nail at the beginning of the season to
Mhm.
keep Amari Cooper as the
Yeah,
one. To
I
keep
was buying
Amari,
them. Yep.
yeah, as the one
Yep.
in Dallas. But I think as the seasons went along, I think the eyeball says CD Lamb is the new number one in Dallas, which
Mhm.
makes Amari Cooper a little more expendable. I was talking to Dynasty Owl about a hot take I had. I'm going to pass it over to you, Doc. Hot take for Amari Cooper next season. Drum roll. He will be a Jacksonville Jaguar. Um, just
Mm.
just something I've been thinking quite a bit about. Two receivers come to mind. The first one's going to be free agent Devontae Adams. Second one's Amari Cooper. I think Jacksonville does something a little out of desperation. You got to get that kid Trevor Lawrence some help. I just think his psyche, his mentality, all that stuff. If you're a Jacksonville Jaguar, you got to be concerned. You got to get that offense moving in the right direction and do everything you can to help this kid out. Your franchise quarterback, the next great one. He needs some help, and I think Jacksonville pulls all strings and gets an elite receiver down there. I don't know if it'll help him. I don't know if it's a great destination or not. I think it's better than Dallas though, so we'll see. I mean, I think he'll be the one without as much competition. Fantasy
Right.
wise, I think it's better than Dallas. Just the take I had.
Yeah, I like that. I think
Yeah.
there's a lot of enticing options for Cooper if that's the way things go. So, I mean, yeah, that's a good point too.
All right, gonna wrap up this show. Before we do, any other sell nows on your guys' mind or no?
That's about everything I got.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's all I got.
All right, that's gonna wrap up this edition. As always, thanks so much for watching. If you could hit the like and subscribe button, love for you to come be a part of the Masters family. Just a Masters note, wanted to pass along real quick. Weekly leagues are filling on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Playoff leagues are posted. So some good leagues for you guys to sign up. Come be a part of the Masters family. That's all we got. Well,